Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing this voodoo doll makeup. I got really overexcited and started by painting my stitches, thinking that I didn't really want foundation, and then completely changed my mind and needed foundation. So I didn't really mind smearing my first big brown line because I'm going to be adding a ton of texture to kind of make this look like a burlap or a rough fabric. So once I've got my foundation on, I'm going back in and I've gently pressed this powder brush into a water activated paint, and then I'm lightly tapping that brush onto my face to add my first layer of texture. It almost look a little dirty or dingy. Not anything super crazy. I don't want it to get too dark, even though I can have like darker spots. I don't want the face to get too dark all over and start looking like either my face is covered in stubble or, you know, like I'm darkening my skin, which is not at all my intention. So I want to just get a nice texture down to get in some of that feel of the burlap. Once I've got all the texture I want down, I'm going to start painting the rest of my lines for the other stitches that I want in other places. So I'm going to go ahead and do one that's going up from my mouth, like the mouth is stitched in, and I'm going to bring that all the way up my cheekbone. And then I'm taking one all the way down my neck, and I'm going to go across my collarbones as well, to kind of get a good line in there for another stitch line. Now I'm starting to go in with another smaller brush, like a blending brush, and I've lightly tapped that in the same way I did with my powder brush, and I'm tapping circles around my eyes to kind of start sinking them in. By the end of this look, I want it to look like the eyes are dug out, so I'm doing this to get that in place. I've gone in with some cream makeups from Cinema Secrets, as well as using some of the brown paints that I already have, which is it's Paradise from Maron, and I'm putting in these hatch patterns. So here I'm starting with just the brown and I'm putting in the hatch pattern just like you would see on a burlap sack or a chunk of burlap. Here I'm going in with a highlight. I want to add that to the sides of my brown stitch lines. I'm using one that's mildly metallic and it doesn't show up quite as good as a regular white, but I couldn't find my straight white paint for the night. So this is what I'm using. If you're using a flat white, I would recommend trying to blend it out a little bit. You want it to look like a highlight, not like a solid line of color. Since this one reflects a little different, I'm going to have to do a lot less blending because if I overblend, I'm going to lose it completely because of its metallic nature. This one is Pixie from Graftobian. I think it's called Pixie Pink. It's not really pink, it's more of a cream. This is the part that I'm going in with some of those cream makeups. Different shades of foundation work great, which is technically what this is. It is different shades of cover-up from my makeup kit. And I'm going in and and adding to my hatchwork to add more depth and color so things aren't so flat and they look a little bit more three-dimensional. I believe I used probably 3 different shades, all within that like skin tone realm, all within the browns and beiges. I may have in fact picked the worst day ever to do audio. My dog continues to sprint up and down the stairs, which you might be hearing in the background, and my fiance is on a meeting at work upstairs as well. So if you get background noise, that's what's going on. Next, I've decided that I want to put a patchwork heart on here as well. So I'm adding this heart shape, do a little patchwork heart. It'll be super cute. I don't really mind the blackish brown smudge that I have within my heart because all of this makeup looks kind of dingy and like this doll has seen better days, so I'm just leaving it rather than correcting it. And then I'm going on top of the red with a dark brown and a little bit of black just to bring out the edges a little bit and create a little bit more depth. I don't want the lines to look too solid, which is why I'm going on top of the red. Next, I'm gonna go in and do my stitches. I'm using that brown Paradise paint from Miron, and I want them to kind of be facing every other direction, look really jagged, really misplaced. So I'm angling every which way as I go in with my stitches. I'm making them nice and thick, like they've been stitched up with a thick twine. One point I wanted to make about a lot of my videos, I will often have a palette in my hand that I'm not even using for the video, but it has mirror in it, so I love the Pinkie Pie 80s Baby palette, but I think I use a little bit of the black from it to do some shading later on in this video, but I'm basically not using the palette. I just really need the mirror. So if you see palettes popping in and out and you're curious about where I'm using them, I may not be using them. I'm just using the mirror. Now I'm going in with a secondary color and using a little bit of black to add shadow underneath each of the stitches. I'm trying to get close to the camera so you can see it a little better. It's not going to look like a super huge difference. It's going to be a really small difference, but it's going to be what adds some of that shadowing, adds a little bit of depth and makes everything look just a little bit more three-dimensional. Once I've got that all filled in, I am doing black on my eyelids and under my eyes as well. I'm kind of sitting within the brown ring that I created earlier and just kind of blacking out my whole eye socket. So I'm just using black body paint. I believe this one is from Graftobian. I've come back to my detail brush and the brown paint, and I'm creating tiny little flicks of lines that are coming off of that black area in my eye. As we can hear in the background, my tiny dog has decided to sprint up these stairs for the billionth time during this recording. I am going in with a little bit of the black too. I want to do a little bit of the black and a little bit of the brown. Just kind of shade that out. Then I'm going in with the white, and I'm doing white highlights and going in with that black eyeshadow and shading underneath. I'm doing everything really fast now because I'm running out of film time. And there you have it, the full finished look of this voodoo doll. If you enjoy my work, please like, subscribe, and you can become a Patreon member to get early access to all of my videos, along with other special little prizes. Until next time.